Hello, retreat attendees. It's me again with my second project for the Creative 8 Summer Retreat. I hope you liked the first one, and I hope you like the second one as well. Well, if you know me at all, you know I love designer series paper. So the first project really centered around designer series paper. I think the last retreat, all of my projects did, and guess what? We're using designer series paper again. I don't know, I've always had this thing that, designer series paper can be the focus of your card, and then just add a greeting. Quick and easy, that's what we're all about. Now, this project, just like my first one, if you've already watched that video, is really designed to be what I call generic. That means use any paper, use any colored cardstock that coordinates with your paper, and probably most importantly, add any greetings. So you can make birthday, thank you, get well, sympathy, Father's Day, Mother's Day. There's a whole bunch I missed there. So you can use these layout ideas and just add whatever greeting you want. So my tutorial, once again, when you look at it, I have a set of samples that I've made that and we're going to look at these here. And I've actually given you all the measurements for all the layers and all the cutting, I call it card recipe, for all of those cards. We actually have 6 cards we're going to make. Well, I'm not really going to make them. I'm going to show you how to make them. So I have all the details on those 6, but don't get hung up on the papers I use, the colors I use, and the words I use. I want you to play around and make these projects and use your own colors and words and papers. Add more to the cards if you want. Go ahead and add more stamped images or add punches or dies or whatever. But the basic layout is what I want to share with you today. And then, as always, in true Jackie fashion, I have 2 other complete sets of cards to share with you. So we really have 6 times 3, whatever the math is on that I'm going to share that many cards with you today. So let's just go ahead, flip the camera down. I want to show you the projects, and we're going to get cutting on some cardstock. Hold on. So I want to show you the tutorial like I did last time too, because my tutorial is a little bit different than some of the other ones because, again, there's several projects going on here. Now, it is in color, so when you print it or look at it on the computer, it'll be in color. But this project, I'm calling it Fun Layouts Using 1-inch Strips of Designer Series Paper. It's really all about using up your scraps. So if you've got scraps and you can cut them down to at least 1 inch, you're good to go. Your scraps, you might even just have 1 inch by 1 inch pieces to use right out the gate. But I just took some paper here. This is all from the Playing with Patterns pack, and I cut a bunch of 1-inch strips. And then we're going to cut these down for the different layouts that I've got for you. So again, here's everything I used for the 6 cards for the samples that are shown in your tutorial. And it does list like all of the layers. I did quite a few layers of cardstock on these, but you could really easily kind of eliminate some of those layers if you want. So what I'd like to do is just go through the 6 layouts, and I would show them to you and then show you how I cut my cardstock. So the first one, when you look at the instructions, it does tell you that you need 3 1-inch squares and 3 1 by 2 inch pieces. So I'm going to just go to my scrap here, and we will go ahead and we're just going to cut according to our instructions. So we need 3 1-inchers. So there's 1, and I like to just kind of play around with the papers and mix and match them. And when you're using paper all from the same pack, you know that everything's going to coordinate really nice. Let's go ahead and use another one of those. Okay, so we need 3 1-inch pieces, and then we need 3 1 by 2s. So let's make sure we get some different ones. Let's go ahead and bring this one in. And hopefully with the number of strips that I have cut here, I'm going to be able to do all 6 pieces for you. Okay, so there's one of those. Let's go ahead and bring one of these, the Posy, in there. Just trying to get a variety of prints and colors. So there's that one. And let's see, we need one more. We've done that. Let's go ahead and, let's use this one. That brings in those colors. And this is another 2-incher. So you can see all of these start as 1-inch strips, and then it's just a matter of cutting down the pieces you want. So let's go ahead and look at the card. So here it is. So very simply, you can see, and this is different paper, obviously, but you're going to just kind of lay out your pieces. Okay, there's your 2-inch ones, and we can put that one there, and let's do that one there and that one there, and you'd be ready to make your card. Now, like I said, I'm not going to make it. I'm just showing you how to cut them and put them together. And you can see all these measurements are in that tutorial, but I did put them all on Whisper White, layered with a coordinating color, and then onto a colored card base. So that's up to you. You could actually make this white piece bigger and not do as much layering if you don't want to, but this is the part that I wanted to share with you. Now notice here, I did wrap that linen thread around there, and I adhered all of those down flat, but then this right-hand piece, I waited until I had my linen twine around it, and then I popped that one up on dimensionals just to give it some dimension, because I don't know, I can't make a card without using dimensionals, I think. Greeting just stamped on it, and I did on all of these. I put a piece on the inside and went ahead and added a greeting. So that's your layout number 1. Now, when we look at layout number 2, we'll bring back all of our pieces here. It says I need 2 1x2s and 2 1x3s. So let's go ahead, let's do some of these circles. So let's go ahead and do a 3. Okay, we needed 2 3s. So there's a 3, and then why don't we do this one? You know, and remember, because these were all from that same pack, they work good. So there's 2 3s, and then I also need 2 2s. So let's get some stripes. Why don't we take, can't pick them up here. My hands are so dry. So let's do a 2. And no, we can't flip that one. So there's a 2 and one more 2. Let's keep it kind of in this color scheme for this one. And there's our other 2. So we have 2 3-inchers and 2 2-inchers. So here's the card I made with that one. Now I did layer that onto a piece of white, and I have the measurements again so you can see where those fit on there perfectly. Layered on a card base, add a greeting. So quick and easy thank you card. These colors make it pretty masculine. This is a different pack of paper, but it shows you how to lay it out. And like I said, I've got more samples I'm going to share with you because I really want to drive home the point here that it does not matter what papers you use. This is an idea you're going to be able to use for all kinds of card making. Whether you sit down and you make all 3 of them, or maybe you're just looking for an idea to make one card. Hopefully you'll maybe turn to this tutorial and do a card. Okay, I'm not going to keep cutting here because you got the idea. You're just going to start cutting up these pieces. So layout number 3, if you look at the instructions, it says we need 5 1-inch pieces. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've just cut and layered where, kind of to make the square part there. You could, if you wanted to, you could stamp directly on that Whisper White if you didn't want to layer that and pop it up. But again, it's just using those 1-inch pieces. So card 4. Again, directions say 4 1-inch squares. So we're cutting these all one by one. And I just took them and layered them going down diagonally. Super simple. A little tip here, I did adhere the very top one so I could kind of put the corners right to the edge of that Whisper White, and the bottom one. Adhered those 2 first. Then I went ahead and adhered those 2 because that way I could space them relatively equal on there. So that's number 4. And then number 5, flipping my tutorial here. Again, number 5 uses the 1-inch squares. So the directions tell me I need 10 1-inch squares. So you can see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, this one, I believe in the instructions. Let me just double check. Yes, this Whisper White piece, I did start out with a larger piece, and then I trimmed it down because it's kind of, you can see here where these are actually cut off the edge. It was kind of hard to lay it out on just what size this Whisper White was. So I started with a whole 1/4-inch piece of cardstock, or quarter sheet of cardstock, so 5.5 by 4 1/4, laid them out, adhered them down, and then I trimmed it down to the size I wanted for the card here. But you can see they're just laid in that order. So kind of a fun pattern there. You know, and this is where, this was kind of a puzzle putting together because I cut out all those 10 1-inch squares and then I mixed and matched them to see how they would look good together. So that's number 5. And then finally, number 6 is super easy. This one's just 4 1-inch squares. Again, layered, popped up ribbon if you want to put ribbon, and add a greeting on it. I should show you. So all of these, I did put a 3 3/4 by 5. I think I did the same on all of them on the inside. Then I had a couple more little scraps of designer series paper laying around, so I threw that on the inside of a couple of them as well. So here we didn't need the white, but I put a piece of designer series paper. That one, nothing in the end, no stamping, but a little paper and then some stamping. So that is the 6 card layouts I have for you. Like I said, super simple, and it's a great way to use up your scraps. I mean, you don't have to cut full sheets and cut 1-inch strips like this if you don't want to. If you can just come up with at least 1 by 1-inch squares, you can use your scraps that way. Now let me show you a couple other samples. So this set uses the, what was this called? 4 seasons? Oh my gosh, I can't remember all these. Flowers for Every Season designer series paper. Started the same way, had a bunch of 1-inch strips and then just started cutting. Here's the 3 1-inch pieces and the 3 2-inch pieces. There's that one. And, you know, and this is a good, you know, kind of shows you too how you can add ribbon or add embellishments if you want. Here I did a little embossing and cut it out. And, you know, some of these I did more to them than others. Here we kind of just popped up the little banner on there, but there you can see our 4 pieces. Here is the one with the 5 squares. Now, the tutorial does have pictures and the list of supplies that I used for each one of these. It doesn't give you all the cutting instructions, only the one set it gives you the cutting instructions. Actually, this is the one set it does, but you can just, you know, use whatever colors coordinate with your cardstock. So there you go. There are those. And then the other one, for this one, I used all the designer series paper that is the in color collection. So you'll see there's the 5 new in colors, and then just did a bunch of layering with in color cardstock. So I like how these colors really go well together. You know, here we could get the more masculine feel, and mixed and matched, use different patterns. You know, here again, most of these are pretty masculine unless you throw in that magenta. There's our diagonal one. Yep, super easy. Put a greeting on there. That one, yeah. And then here's this one, the first one we did. And then just our 4 little squares shows the 4 different patterns. So I hope you like this idea. It's just kind of a fun way to not only use up your designer series paper scraps, but it helps you just have some layouts. Like I said, pick a layout and do it, or sit down and do all 6 of them. That's up to you. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me, but I think you're going to find these pretty darn easy, and I hope you enjoy. It's kind of like putting puzzles together, the mix and matching of the papers. So have fun, guys, and I hope you use this idea a lot. Again, thanks for participating in our Creative 8 retreat. We all really appreciate it, and we're loving sharing with you.